Well, Paul, you finally have some definitive answers on the bones you guys discovered back in September, didn't you?
Yes, we do. We ended up sending those remains out to Quantico, Virginia, where the FBI laboratory and their archaeologists and anthropologists were able to review them, study them, and determine the age and where those remains came from originally.
What's your answer?
They are Native American. There is believed to be at least 5 children in those remains and 1 adult. They were able to tell that numerous ways. They're able to, with the age of the bones, they're able to determine, and the characteristics of the bones, able to determine that they are Native American. We have now been in contact with the Army Corps of Engineers, whose property that is. We are working with the Illinois Preservation Society so that we may return those remains to a rightful place, whether it be a museum and or return them to a burial site.
How old are the bones? Were they able to identify, see how old they are?
They were not able to definitively say, but several hundred years old.
Because the river is so low, or what? I mean, how did all this? I mean, how did they just work their way to the surface, like the bones in Gettysburg from the Civil War, that type of stuff?
You know, we went back in history, and we were able to bring about some drawings and some sketchings from around the Civil War time, which shows the location where we're talking, although it's not definitive exactly where. But we were able to get some pretty good sketchings of the fact where the river was at the time. It is not uncommon, according to preservation information, that those bones would have been relatively close, particularly in the wintertime. That area would have been softer digging than it would have been out into a field or somewhere like that, particularly in the winter. So based upon our search and the fact that we found some of those bones, you know, 8 to 12 inches underneath the river floor, it's believed that those bones actually have worked their way up from high waters, because of the mouth of the river right there, where it narrows at the bridge and then widens again. Obviously, the speed and the current would play a huge role in pulling that soot away from that area. So we believe that those remains were in fact originally there, and they simply worked their way back up to the surface.
Last question. Those days that you spent over there at the John Hay back in September, did you ever think you would have to go through this myriad of process to try to identify these bones?
I did not, unfortunately. When we sent those away, and I spoke to Quantico for the first time, I was very ecstatic about the idea that they were going to be able to provide me so much. They were so confident that they could return to us a true and confident belief in where they came from and what they were. This quickly, I was surprised, very pleased, particularly pleased that we're able to get the word out, so that, you know, I received a lot of call from loved ones who, you know, 30 and 40-year-old cases that they were inquiring, and so it's nice to get that word out there and let them know that we're able to conclude this quickly.